Here's looking at you, kid. Welcome to KillCo Whiskey Musings. My name is Brian, and this is another bottle from another WhiskeyTuber that I have that you can never get. But the important thing is, I am sharing this experience with you and with my future self in 50 years. I won't be alive that long. Point is, this is for you. This is what I thought about it. And also, if you do have this bottle, you can tell me if you thought it was the same or not. The joy of shared experiences. Oh, what's this bottle actually about? Here, let me tell you. This is a toasted Nulu straight bourbon whiskey, non-chill filtered. Nulu Noir presents Caskablanca. We'll always have whiskey. This is It's Bourbon Night pick. I've been debating whether I should actually do videos about WhiskeyTube picks, and I do have a few of them, so I basically need to make the video if I'm going to open it. Some serious wax action here. Look at the top there. It even says Nulu on the top. There you go. And if you haven't noticed, this is 57.3%, 5 years old. The joys of wax. Jesus. Got shrapnel going. Oh, God. Oh, come on. Just, please don't. I have glasses on, but.
Jesus.
Ugh. I have wax everywhere now. Honestly, Why? Honestly, nothing compares to the original Knob Creek bottles. That wax was definitely shrapnel. Let's see what happens here. Oh, it was easy. It was glorious. And since this is, of course, an It's Bourbon Night pick, I am using their fancy 5-year anniversary Crystal Glencairn, which I rarely use except for special occasions. And this is special occasion, folks. We begin with the color, although it is a little hard to tell through a crystal glass such as this. You can still tell. This isn't quite amber, but this is only 5 years old. However, I do like this color, and it is enticing. I haven't had many Nulu barrels, but I will show you the other one I have had. See, another Nulu barrel. But wait. Oh! If you'd like to see the video I did on this bottle, it's going to be right up there. On to the nose. Oh my God. Wow, that was just instant, satisfying caramel, brown sugar, bourbon. I'm going back in. This is delightful. So much caramel. Wow. I really like caramel. I believe I've said that more than once. It's so sweet. It's got that creme brulee thing going on. Maybe that's the toasted barrel. Maybe it's just because it's a Nulu. But as far as bourbons go, wow. It's Bourbon Night. Chad and Sarah.
Wow.
What is getting to me at the moment is I've had something like this, and I think I just remembered what it was. There was a stream I did where I got a sample of the Four Roses pick. Something I can never get again. The only thing I jotted down about that Four Roses pick was RS71-1A. I don't even remember what that means, but I know Four Roses have a whole bunch of categorizing stuff, and I imagine that's what it is. Can't look it up now because I'm doing a video. But it was a spot-on, absolutely delicious nose. If you like bourbon, if you like sweet bourbons like I do, it's all baking spices. There's a little bit of cinnamon. It's mostly brown sugar and caramel for me. And the creme brulee is just, that's what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a bourbon, I want it to smell like creme brulee. Onto the palate, because I just want to drink this stuff. First sip, first whiskey of the day as well, so. Yep, right there. Lovely. Frequent viewers will realize that my first sip is not to be analyzed and just to get my palate prepared and get this part of me prepared for alcohol. All I'll say about the first sip is it was a little dry. Like the finish is, I can still feel it. I'm a little worried. That first sip wasn't exactly what I thought it would be like, but let's do the little bit of a hold it on the tongue, explore the taste a bit, and see what happens next. Oh, it's spicier than I thought it would be. A lot spicier. Oh, and it burns. This is the problem with having no whiskey before you do a video. Whew. It's not as sweet as I expected. It's more spice. It's almost as if it was more rye. I have no idea what the mash bill on this is, but it seems like it was more. There's some rye in there. I don't taste it, but the feel of it seems to imply there's rye in there somewhere, which it's very common, but we'll find out later. Maybe. I hope. I think the proof's too high for my palate because I'm getting a lot of spice and that dry feeling on my tongue where just the moisture just all gone. It's still mostly cinnamon, but it is overwhelming as far as my palate's concerned. It's like I'm getting hit by too much at once. I do enjoy it, but I've had this happen many, many times with different kinds of whiskeys where the proof is at a certain point where it's just too much for my palate. With that said, that means I have to add a couple drops of water. I usually add 2. Science. 1, 2. I'm not really sure why I hum that song when I spin whiskey. The nose leads me to think there's so much more sweetness to this. Okay, just 2 drops of water. That's astounding. Mellowed it out a little more, made it a little sweeter. It did change the mouthfeel a bit. It's a little more gingerbread. Per my palate, I think just the 2 drops of water did it. That might have brought it down to 55%. Yeah, a little more caramel, a little more sweet. Still a little dry. It's still spicy, but not to the point where it is overloading my whole entire palate. And it's something I am learning as I am going along with this whiskey adventure, is that I can get a high proof whiskey, which I will enjoy the first couple of sips, but it's just too much. I'm certainly drinking all of it, so I do like it. But I will have to compare this to the other Nulu and see what the difference is. And maybe just a little bit of time in the bottle will tone it down a bit. However, now we will go to the notes. I'm fortunate enough that I did get this through a certain website that I can't mention because I'm not sponsored, but they do have some tasting notes for this bottle on their site, and I will tell you what those notes are. Aha, here's some interesting info. The general information about it is vanilla, sweet oak, toasted brown sugar, woodsy fall florals, and peppercorn on the nose. I didn't get peppercorn. To me, it was just sweet. Followed by a balance of warm holiday spice and vanilla sugar cookies on the palate. Instead of sugar cookie, I got gingerbread. The palate is balanced, toasty, and comforting with a warm, silky smooth mouthfeel. This pour finishes out with a crackle of heat and a slow-building Kentucky hug. Yes, that was the problem. There is a crackle of heat and a fairly noticeable Kentucky hug, not too extreme. I mean, this kind of thing happens with me with 40% Irish whiskey, so this is my first sip of whiskey of the day. But as far as my palate, it was just too much at the high proof that it was at. However, this little bit was at the end, which I thought you would all appreciate. Perfect for the holidays/winter and great for gifting. I gifted it to myself. Tip: enjoy a sip, then allow it to open up in the glass for 5 to 10 minutes. I did not do that. However, I like that idea. So for my next pour, which will be whenever I have to pour some more, which might be later this evening, I will let it sit for a little while, because that is often what I do when I drink whiskey, is I do about a 2-ounce pour, and then I just sip on that for 2 to 3 hours. I will give this a little more exploration in the glass rather than adding water. However, I will admit again, for whatever reason, at the proof it's at, and the type of bourbon it is, it was just a little too spicy for me, too overwhelming. If you don't know about this WhiskeyTube channel, I will put a link up here for you to see their channel and check out their future releases, since this one is long gone. But to be involved in hopefully getting one of your own, you have to be a part of their Patreon. There you have it, folks. As always, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome, and I will see you out there. Thank you for joining me on KillCo Whiskey Musings. You can find my social media and Patreon in the links below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.